Hi Flosstube, good morning. It is Wednesday, June 5th. Welcome to my channel. I'm Helen D, East Coast Crafter on Instagram. This is video 37. I'm a little thrown off because we're trying shooting in a different way. The glitches, we think we figured out. My husband put some new recording program on my phone, but it's not focusing on the camera that's looking at me. So we have a whole setup going with a mirror and a backwards camera, and I'm not really sure where I'm looking. So we'll see what happens. Thought I'd do an update today. I've been stitching. I've also been finishing. I have a lot of finishes to show today. So we have just over 2 weeks left of school here. We get out on the 21st, which is late even for Maine. My district starts after Labor Day, so we always get out late. I think graduation is this weekend, and then the other schools get out the 21st. We had 6 snow days this year, so those got tacked on, which was less than we had last year, so we'll take it. Last year was like the 25th. It was outrageous. So the 21st. So when I realized that I had like 3 weeks left last week, I thought, what do I need to get done between now and then? Because I know it won't get done over the summer. So I had a few kind of chore things that needed to be done. I put together a photo album every year for Christmas through Shutterfly. I hadn't even attempted to start that, so I thought, well, I should start that and see if I can get a few months in. The beginning of the year, we don't take a ton of pictures. The summer is when we do, so I thought if I can get caught up, I'll be in good shape. Because usually it's like November, and I'm like, I gotta do this album. So I'm through March, I think. And then I had a bunch of things that had gotten finished last year, or even this year, but they were kind of finished out of season, so I hadn't worried about getting them done. So they were in the drawer of shame. Pam and Steph have the under the bed box. I had the drawer of shame, so I thought I was gonna go through that. I had some summer things I knew I wanted to get done, and the rest of the stuff has been autumn and Christmas, but I just kind of wanted to pull some stuff out and get it finished. I still have 4 or 5 things in there. I can probably get a couple more done in the next week. So I have a bunch of that to show. I'll show the whips and stuff first. Mania is over. I did 5 starts, 1 on each Wednesday. Looking back and going forward, that last week wasn't a full week. It was just a few days. I probably should have done 4 starts, and then that last week could have been like catching up, spending a little time on one of them. I ended up getting way behind on my monthly things. I didn't even touch them. The year in celebrations, I think I put, an hour in on May. Haven't touched it since. Haven't even looked at June. So I'm way behind on those. I didn't touch Tingles at all over the month. I'd like to get back to that. I need to get back to Santa's Village, although I think I've told you guys I was having some trouble with that one, and I think it was my fabric choice. If I could get 4 done this year, I'd be happy. I'm only doing 8 in the frame I want. I can fit 8. So if I could get 4 done this year and then 4 done next year, it would be done. So I need to get back to that. So to finish off Mania, I think I had shown this one. I was starting it. My picture's not great. So this is Dash Away. It's by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. It was originally a stitch along, but now you can buy just the full pattern. This is the one that called to be stitched on white, and I just couldn't do it. Although people have suggested like soaking your fabric in hot water and stuff to get some of the sizing out, so I may have to try that. But I ended up doing it on a chalkboard fabric. So this is Picture This Plus Dusk. And I think the colors look good. I did change this outline color, and it's kind of in here a little. the called for wasn't going to show up on my fabric. So I just picked a blue that I thought matched. And I'm really liking how that one's looking. So that one got its week and then got tucked away. And I'll just pull it out sometime before Christmas. And then the last week, I started Autumn Acres Farm, and I'm doing the big one. This one's also on dusk. I had a giant piece of 16 dusk, which is what I ended up cutting for Dash Away. And then when I pulled this one out, I was like, oh, I was using dusk for that too. This is on a 14 because it will go on my stand back there, and that's what size fits best. So I got the truck outlined and the pumpkins for sale. And I thought it looked pretty good. I didn't give that one the full week. I kind of got to that point where the truck was outlined, and I think the next day was June 1st. So I thought that's a good enough start to say I got started. I would like that one done for this autumn, so I'll have to kind of get working on that. And then the other, my bonus new start, because I'm a sucker for a good sell. This is also Caterpillar cross stitch, and I don't know if I have the picture of what this month looks like. I don't, but I'm almost done, so you can kind of tell. This is Hello Pumpkin. There'll be a mushroom here, and then there's a bunch of grass. I did get everything done on release 1 that's in the tree. And I have to say, this leaf right here, that is DMC 32. So that was one of those new 35 colors. This is the first chart I've used that has called for one of those colors. So that was nice to pull that out. And it's a really pretty purple. So I'm plugging away on that. That's on a 14 count fog. We're gonna have some car time this summer, so I thought that would be perfect for in the car. It's not a dark fabric, so just regular window light would be good. Little small motifs. So that might be a car project. So Mania ended, and then I started 2 new things because I hadn't started enough things. I started 2 small patriotic pieces. This one I know I don't have, I only have the chart. This is Misty's new design, which a lot of people have seen. A Bluebird's Salute. He's so cute. So I'm plugging away on him. This is the first time I've used a 6x6 Q-snap, which is like the cutest little thing ever. This was on doubloon. Picture this plus doubloon, because I had, when I cut the rows and stuff, or I cut it for something, I had some little scraps. And I always save those because they're perfect for ornaments and smalls. So I've started that one. And then the other one I've been working on, my friend Patty and I both got this off Penny, the Daily Stitcher, at the same time. So we thought we'd start it together. Where Liberty Dwells, Brenda Gervais. This is my first With Thy Needle that I've actually stitched. I own several. This is the first one I've stitched, and we're doing this top one. This is also on doubloon because I had some. So there's my little people. I'm using mostly the called for, although I did change her apron and his beard. I think they're 38.65. The called for just wasn't showing up. And I think parchment is what's called for in the stars, and I don't think that's going to show up either, so I'll have to come up. I was working on those last night, and I thought, well, that's a good time to start because I don't think your eyeballs are going to figure that out tonight. And I'm considering, let me take this out of the plastic. I'm considering leaving the words off and just making it like a long skinny pillow. So we'll see. I'm going to do everything but the words first and see how I feel about it, and then I might just leave those off. So those were my 2 patriotic starts. I think that's all my starts. Yeah. So I think I'm going to skip summer stitching. I was talking to Misty and Barbie, and I said, you know, I usually stitch seasonal things, but it's already June. June is going to be very busy. Over the summer when my son's home, we're always busy. I want to do the summer row, Bent Creek summer row. I want to do those 2 patriotic pieces. And there might be one more little tiny small. And I think I'm going to go right to fall because I don't think I would get the summer ones done in time. I'm looking ahead to my June A Very Prairie Year start. And I was going to do Prairie Seasons. I did spring, and I thought, well, I should do summer. And then I thought, well, you're not going to get it done in time, so maybe you should just skip it and do fall, and then jump right into winter. Even though I was so over winter stitching, I'm over that now. So I'll do my fall stuff and Halloween, and then I might jump right to winter. And then when I'm done with winter again, I stitched a lot of spring this year. So maybe I'll start summer early next year to kind of get caught up. I have that one, the trilogy lineup, summer lineup. That's another one that, you know, I have the frame for it. I have the finish. I'd like to just be able to swap them out, but I don't think I would have it done. I'm looking in the middle, and I know you guys are over here. I'm sorry. So that might be what I do. We'll see. But I do want to do summer row because those rows are pretty quick. So I think I can get that one done. I have Stars and Stripes Forever up now, and then I can just swap them out after July 4th. So sneak peek to plans, and I found a pair of scissors that went in the bag. I have one finish that is not yet fully finished, and that is this little guy. And I don't know where the book went for that. This was my Prairie Schooler May. Found it. So the With Thy Needle chart, it's a color chart, which is great. But I don't have a color copier, so I couldn't make a working copy because it just would have been hard to read. So I put it in one of these, and I'm all washed out now. I put it in one of these binder folder thingies with the pattern on one side and then the colors on the other side. And then to stiffen it up a little, put my Prairie Schooler chart in the middle. So this little truck is from Christmas Tree Farm. It was one of the 2 extra ornaments. This was on a little scrap of something. It's a 16 count, but other than that, I couldn't tell you what it was. And I knew I was doing probably a pillow finish. I have at least an inch on each side, and that's, for me, for a small finish like that, that's enough. I knew I would be the one finishing it, so if I left less and it was a pain, I only had myself to blame. So that one is done. And I think that brings us to FFOs. And like I said, I have a lot of FFOs. And I think they all came out pretty good. We'll start with the small one. This was one of my other Prairie Schooler, a very Prairie Year Sal. I don't know if I can do this so that I'm not so blown out because I'm afraid to touch the camera because, like I said, I'm backwards. Bear with me. I have to reach around. No, that doesn't seem to make any difference at all. Wah! That made a difference, not in a good way. All right, we'll go with this. Here it is. So this little blown out guy, that's gonna drive me crazy. Hold on. I don't know how to edit yet with this system, so if I can get it. All right. Okay. This little guy, he is from Santa's Night, which I would really like to get to this year, but I don't know if it's going to happen. So he's from one of these ornaments, but I didn't do the whole thing. I did this top one minus the city, and then I had just this little tiny scrap of fabric left. So I just did that little reindeer. And I finished him using Vanna's tag technique, which was the first time I'd done that. And it was pretty easy. I did manage, she shows how to like get the cording on there without having little scraps left over. I used my crocodile to make the little grommets. And then I like to put the little charms with a year. So I just kind of tag that on the back. So that one is done. Now, I was thinking I might do a tag finish for this one too, but this little guy was small and he ended up being, you know, he's a good size ornament. And this is about as big as I like my tree ornaments. I don't like them too big. So I may have to go back to a pillow finish or come up with some other idea. So he's done. I also finished, and I posted this one on Instagram last night. This was Heartstring Sampler. A is for acorn. I finished this last year, but it's round and I just couldn't find anything I wanted to finish it on. And then I finally found a trivet. My store doesn't have them very often. So there's A is for acorn. And this is on my Michelle Bendy trivet finish, complete with hot glue on the back. I took the tile out. I just have a piece of a harder cardboard in there. And then I magneted it on. So, there's an old calendar. I wanted to put the round ruffle. I didn't want to glue it right to the stitching, and I had a piece of calendar, so I used that. So that one's done. I do have O is for Old Glory. Last year when we did, do you guys remember when we did the Stitchy wish list and a lot of people were able to pass on charts to people that wanted them? That was awesome. And I think we should do that again. I was able to pass on a couple. Actually, this one was sent to me. And the O is for Old Navy. I ended up trading. I sent them this A is for Acorn, and they sent me the O is for Old Glory. I'm getting that wrong. And the Valentine one, because she was done with it. So that was just really fun. So I have the others, if I can get them done, probably not for this year, that I can swap them out. Okay. We'll do this one next. This one is Dear Friends. So this was one of my Mania starts. This is a little pedestal that I got at AC Moore. Yes, Nicole Company, so it's AC Moore. On clearance for $5. It's a little big. I had another way that I was going to do it, so I measured it for that. And then it wasn't quite big enough to put on that, so I thought, well, I'll need something a little smaller. I like it on there. Like I said, you know, you can see a little bit down here. I couldn't have made it too much smaller anyway because I didn't want to cut off. And again, this is on magnets, so I can swap it out if I have other things. So this trim, I couldn't find one that was the right color that I had. Couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. And then I had some chenille, but it was really thin. I think I got it off Victorian Motto's Etsy store, eBay store. But it wasn't your standard thick chenille. It was really thin, and I've used it before and it just is too thin. But I had this strip and I thought, well, I'm gonna put it on my cording maker and just see what happens. And I think it came out pretty good. It quadrupled it, I guess, to make it thick enough. And I had just enough. I left a little tie. There's a little acorn under here. I don't know if you can see. I had just enough. That was every last bit of it. So it was just the right amount. But that one came out good, and I'm excited to put that one out. And then the last ones, when I actually display them after all my spring stuff is out, they'll look neater than this. when I carried them downstairs, they fell everywhere. So I had stitched last year, Preschooler July. That was the cat with my scissors. If you hear banging, it's the cat with my scissors. I just did this middle portion because I wanted it for my bowl. It's not a dough bowl, it's my electrocuted bowl. Oh, and then I meant to grab the other chart. And then I did the smalls from Sunny Day. Those are really small smalls. The cap for my scissors is going to be under the oven. So they're finished. I'll show you just the bowl and then I'll pull them out. So this, one of my friends who I've known a long, long, long time, our kids went to daycare together, she electrocutes wood. Her company is called 12,000 Volts. She has some stuff on Etsy. I'll put a link. So this was my bowl. When she first started it, I was like, I need an oblong bowl. Do you have any oblong bowls? And finally, she came across one because she repurposes. She'll find old stuff and sand it down. She said, "Is this what you're looking for?" And I was like, "Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for." So these are in my bowl. I will tuck them up so they show up, but for now they're fallen. So here's July. They're all pillow finishes. They all have sea glass dust on the bottom because that's what I put in the bowl. My husband made me a square knot. I had seen this kind of square knot finish on Pinterest and thought it would be really good for these. So they all have a solid back. This was like a rope I found at Joann's. So there's July. Now obviously I changed the colors. I can't tell you what I used. I know the house is prairie grass. I don't remember any of the rest. So I apologize for that. And then these are the smalls from Sunny Day. So I did the seagulls, the crab, boat, and the lighthouse. And I made these kind of a little longer because they're tiny. I probably could have made them even more tall so that they'll stand up a little in the bowl. And I found a smaller rope that I put on these and a little piece of trim. So these will go out for summer, which that was the main goal, was these were all done. I needed them out for summer. So once I figure out how to get them in that bowl without falling over all over the place, they'll be put out for summer. And then the cats will probably knock sea glass all over the floor all summer. So that's all my finishes. I have some more still in there. One is the Zelda sword, the Courage, that I had just finished. That will fit in an 8x10, so I'm going to pin it and lace it. I have an 8x10 that might work, or I might take it over to the framer just to see if he has anything I like better. And I do want a piece of glass for that because it's going on the nerd wall, so that will have glass. I have a Halloween piece and I have a couple more Christmas pieces, so I don't feel quite the pressure to get those done, but they're still in the drawer of shame. Looking at my list, so plans, I kind of already mentioned that I think I might kind of skip summer stitching, except those couple other starts. So that would put me into October. I need to do this month's Very Prairie Year, which will probably be the autumn prairie seasons. I thought she was going to move the whole camera with her face. And I want to get Weatherwise back out. I'd like to get that one done for summer. I started that. That was my April start, and then it got put away for Stitch Mania. I'm pretty close. Another week, easy, I could finish that. If I got as far as I did in a week, if I stitched solely that for a week, I could get that done. Probably before school's out if I'm going to give it some time. I've been watching quite a bit of Flosstube lately, which has been nice. Kind of squeezing people in the evenings. Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42 is back. I had just messaged, said, "I miss your face." And she said, "Oh, I'm just uploading." I'm like, yes. So I did some finishing with Audrey. I think I finished the Acorns one with Audrey yesterday. Jodie Rice of Satsuma Street, if you haven't seen, she started a Flosstube. I subscribe to her. I'm totally late to the party, but I finally watched Whistle Stop Stitcher. She has some great projects going. So I've only seen her kind of latest, I think it was a Mania wrap up and one update before then. So I'll have to go back and catch up on those. Basic Stitches I've been watching, but I watched them with the whole Basic bunch last night. I'd fit right in at that table. We're stitching like all the same stuff. It's awesome. They're doing the Stars and Stripes Forever row. I don't know if you saw on Instagram that Jordan started Red, White, and Bloom, the Country Cottage chart on black. I have that pulled. I don't think I'm gonna get to it this year. I have it pulled. I even had a piece of fabric cut of brown fabric, but I don't think I'm gonna use that brown fabric. I think I'm gonna end up using some chalkboard fabric because hers really looks good. My problem with that chart was always finding a fabric that the white would show on. Shows up good on that black. And then Jamie just started, or is going to start, the American flag from the original Just Cross Stitch magazine collaborations of Priscilla and Kathy. And I just started that. I haven't shown you guys because it's pitiful. It's like one strand of floss. When I put my patriotic stuff out, I still have spring. And last year when I did that, I thought, oh, I'd really like to have that one done for next year. And then I didn't get to it. And I'm not gonna get to it for this year, but I thought if I pull it out and I just put a little bit in every once in a while, I'll have enough of a start that come next spring, I can get it done. I think that's it. I didn't have any haul. I have ordered some things. They're all from Hands On Design, but they're not here yet. And my bag winners. So I had 92 people, I think, and I did the random number and it chose number 2, which was Rhonda Mason. So Rhonda, I will leave a comment on your comment so that I can get that out to you. I think that's it. I can't tell how long this is because I'm staring at the back of my camera. Now I'll put everything away. All right, you guys, have a good month of June. I will talk to you guys probably once more before school ends. And then I don't know about summertime. Last summer, I had just kind of started, I think I got 2 in over the summer. So we'll see how it goes. He's a little older now, so I can probably escape for a half hour. We'll see. We'll play that by ear. All right, thank you guys very much, and I will talk to you again later. Bye.